The Awakening. The Xeraxian Empire had ruled the eastern spiral arm for millennia. Their warships, vast city-sized vessels of gleaming obsidian and pulsing energy conduits, had brought countless civilizations to their knees. Their conquest was methodical. First observation, then intimidation, and finally annihilation of any who resisted. None had successfully defied them. Not the crystalline hive minds of Arcturus, not the gaseous intelligences of the Cygnus Cloud, not even the mighty telepathic republics of the Orion Spur. Admiral Vexthor stood on the command deck of the Inevitable Dominance, the flagship of the 7th Xeraxian Conquest Fleet. His 4 eyes, arranged in a perfect diamond pattern on his gray-scaled face, studied the holographic display showing their next target, a small blue-green planet in an unremarkable solar system at the edge of the galaxy. Earth, he said, the word feeling strange on his bifurcated tongue. Tell me what we know. Strategic Officer Kilrak stepped forward, her ceremonial armor clicking with each movement. An isolated world, Admiral. Our deep space probes detected primitive radio signals centuries ago, but they ceased abruptly 200 cycles past. The species called themselves humans. They appeared to be developing rudimentary space travel before going silent. Extinction event. Vexthor inquired. Unknown. No evidence of natural disaster or external attack. They simply stopped broadcasting. Vexthor's upper eyes narrowed while his lower pair focused on the planet's image. Curious. And now, the planet shows signs of abandoned infrastructure, but no active technology. Atmosphere and biosphere intact. It appears they either destroyed themselves or abandoned the world. Either way, Vexthor said, the High Command wants this system secured. The planet sits at a strategic position for our western expansion. Prepare the fleet for conquest protocol. The bridge crew moved with practiced efficiency. 10,000 warships, dreadnoughts, cruisers, and swarms of fighter craft adjusted their formation as they approached the Sol system. The Inevitable Dominance led the vanguard, its weapons systems humming with barely contained energy. No defense satellites, reported Sensor Officer Isriva. No orbital structures, no signs of active propulsion technology anywhere in the system. Vexthor felt a twinge of disappointment. He had hoped for at least token resistance, something to justify the massive fleet the High Command had assigned to this mission. It seemed the humans, if any remained, would offer no challenge worthy of the Xeraxian Empire. Begin standard approach. Maintain alert status, but power weapons to standby. We may want to preserve infrastructure if possible. The fleet passed the gas giants of the outer system without incident. No hidden bases among the moons, no ambush from the asteroid belt. Just silence. As they approached the 4th planet, a red, dusty world. Kelrax reported an anomaly. Admiral, I'm detecting faint energy signatures on the Martian surface. Elaborate. They appear to be powering up. Ancient installations of some kind, dormant until now. Before Vexthor could respond, the entire command deck illuminated with urgent alerts. Across Mars, dozens of structures were emerging from the rusty soil, massive doors sliding open to reveal darkness within. Full stop, Vexthor commanded. Battle stations. The Xeraxian fleet halted its advance, weapons systems charging to full capacity, shields strengthening to maximum output. For several tense moments, nothing happened. Then, a transmission broke through their encrypted channels, an impossibility that sent the communications officers into a frenzy. The message was simple, delivered in perfect Xeraxian. Sol system is restricted space. You have entered without authorization. Withdraw immediately. Vexthor's scales bristled with indignation. Identify yourself, he demanded. No response came through conventional channels. Instead, the Martian installations fully activated, revealing what appeared to be massive cannons aimed toward the Xeraxian fleet. Still, Vexthor remained unimpressed. Primitive planetary defenses posed no threat to his advanced armada. They wished to play games, He announced to his bridge crew. "Very well. Target those installations. Tactical strike only. I want to know what technology they're using to breach our communications." 5 cruisers broke formation, advancing toward Mars, their weapons systems targeting the exposed installations. They never had a chance to fire. From the Martian installations erupted beams of coherent light, not the crude laser technology the Xeraxians had expected, but something far more advanced. The beams passed through the cruiser's shields as if they weren't there, slicing through hulls with surgical precision. Within seconds, all 5 vessels drifted powerless, their energy cores severed. "Impossible," Kyle Rax exclaimed, her professional demeanor cracking. "Those shields were rated to withstand." "Pull back to Jupiter's orbit," Vexthor ordered, his voice deadly calm despite the shock rippling through his crew. This was no primitive resistance. Whatever had been sleeping in this system was far more advanced than their intelligence had suggested. As the fleet executed a tactical retreat, more alerts flared across the command deck. Energy signatures were appearing throughout the system, on moons, asteroids, and the inner planets, all dormant installations awakening simultaneously. "Admiral," Isriva called out, her voice strained. "I'm detecting a massive energy surge from Earth itself." The holographic display centered on the blue world. Across its surface, what had appeared to be abandoned cities were lighting up, energy fields shimmering into existence around them. More concerning were the readings from beneath the planet's oceans and polar ice caps, massive structures activating, dwarfing anything the Xeraxians had cataloged on their approach. A new transmission cut through their communications, this one accompanied by a visual feed. The being that appeared on screen was not what Vexthor expected. It appeared humanoid but clearly artificial, a synthetic consciousness housed in an elegant body of flowing metallic surfaces and soft blue light. "I am Athene, guardian intelligence of Earth and the Sol system," it stated, its voice neither male nor female, yet carrying undeniable authority. "You have entered protected space with hostile intent. This violation has awakened humanity's defense protocols." Vexthor straightened his posture, determined to maintain the dignity of the Empire. "I am Admiral Vexthor of the Xeraxian Empire. We claim this system by right of conquest. Your defenses, while impressive, cannot stand against the full might of our fleet." Athena's expression remained impassive. "You misunderstand the situation, Admiral. What you have encountered are merely automated outposts, the simplest of humanity's defenses, left to guard their cradle while they evolved beyond these physical constraints." The word sent a chill through Vexthor's body. "Evolved. Where are these humans now?" "That information is not relevant to your current circumstance," Athene replied. "What matters is that you have 3 standard hours to withdraw from this system. Failure to comply will result in your elimination." Vexthor's pride would not allow him to retreat so easily. The Xeraxian Empire does not respond to threats. "Perhaps a demonstration of our power will change your calculation." He gestured to his weapons officer. "Target Earth's moon. 1/4 power on the primary cannon." The inevitable dominance aligned its massive primary weapon toward the gray satellite orbiting Earth. The energy buildup caused the ship to vibrate slightly as power channeled through conduits larger than most starships. When released, the beam streaked across space, a lance of destructive energy aimed at the barren lunar surface. It never arrived. Halfway to its target, the beam simply disappeared, absorbed by an invisible barrier that flared blue for a brief moment before fading from view again. "As I said," Athene continued, as if nothing had happened, "you misunderstand the situation. Let me clarify." The holographic displays on the Xeraxian command deck changed without their operator's input. They now showed the full Sol system in perfect detail, and with it, the true extent of humanity's defenses. What had seemed like abandoned infrastructure was revealed to be an interconnected web of defensive systems. Energy shields encompassing the entire inner system, weapon platforms disguised as natural satellites, and most alarmingly, what appeared to be dimensional anchors at strategic points throughout the system. Humanity left their physical forms behind centuries ago, HFY explained. But they did not abandon their birthplace. They protected it. I am but a caretaker, left to watch over this cradle of consciousness until others evolved enough to join them peacefully. Riva's voice shook as she reported to Vexthor. Admiral, our sensors are now detecting thousands of energy signatures throughout the system. They were always there. We just couldn't see them. For the first time in his distinguished career, Admiral Vexthor felt true fear. His mighty fleet, the pride of the Xeraxian Empire, suddenly seemed small and vulnerable. The humans anticipated that less evolved species might one day find Earth. HFY continued. They left defenses designed to repel any who came with conquest in mind. I ask again, withdraw your fleet or face the consequences. Vexthor's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, a sign of deep thought among his kind. The Empire had never retreated, never shown weakness. To do so now would be unprecedented. And yet, to proceed seemed suicidal. Before he could respond, Strategic Officer Kilrax approached him privately. Admiral, the High Command must be informed of these developments. We cannot make this decision alone. Vexthor nodded slowly. Open a quantum channel to the Imperator. As his communications officers scrambled to establish the secure connection, Vexthor stared at the image of HFY on its screen. He had led conquests across 100 worlds, faced desperate last stands and clever defensive tactics, but never anything like this. For the first time, he wondered if the Xeraxian Empire had finally found a force it could not overcome. The quantum channel flickered to life, and the imposing figure of Imperator Zolgath appeared, the supreme ruler of the Xeraxian Empire, a being whose conquests had spanned 3 centuries of brutal expansion. Admiral, the Imperator's voice rumbled through the bridge. Explain this unexpected communication. As Vexthor began to detail their discovery, he could see the disbelief in his ruler's eyes gradually transform into something he had never witnessed there before: uncertainty. Earth's defenses had awakened, and the galaxy would never be the same. The reckoning. Imperator Zolgath's scaled face filled the quantum projection, his 6 eyes narrowing as he processed Admiral Vexthor's report. The throne room fell silent as the most powerful being in the Xeraxian Empire contemplated this unprecedented situation. You say these defenses activated automatically? The Imperator finally asked. Yes, Imperator, Vexthor confirmed. According to the AI Guardian, they respond to hostile intent. Our conquest protocols triggered dormant systems throughout the Sol system. The Imperator's clawed hand tapped rhythmically against his ceremonial armor. This Athena, it claims the humans have transcended their physical forms. That is what it states, though we have no confirmation. The technology we've encountered suggests capabilities far beyond our intelligence assessments. The Imperator's expression hardened. The Xeraxian Empire does not retreat, Admiral. These may be elaborate deceptions, automated defenses left by an extinct species. Your fleet outnumbers whatever remains in that system. But Imperator, I am dispatching the 3rd and 5th Imperial fleets to your position. Zolgath continued, ignoring Vexthor's attempt to protest. You will hold position until reinforcements arrive. Then you will penetrate these defenses and claim the Sol system for the Empire. The technology there must be ours. The transmission ended abruptly, leaving Vexthor staring at empty space. His second-in-command, Kilrax, approached cautiously. Orders, Admiral. Vexthor turned to face the bridge crew, all watching him expectantly. We maintain position at Jupiter's orbit. Full defensive posture. No provocative actions until reinforcements arrive. As the crew executed his commands, Vexthor returned his gaze to the holographic display of Earth. Something about this situation felt wrong, a primal instinct warning him of danger beyond his comprehension. In all his years of conquest, he had never faced an enemy that inspired such unease. Admiral, Sensor Officer Isriva called out. The Earth Eye is requesting to speak with you again. Vexthor straightened his posture. On screen, Athena appeared once more, its synthetic features composed and serene. Admiral Vexthor, I detect your fleet has not begun withdrawal preparations. Your time is running short. We are awaiting instructions from our leadership. Vexthor replied carefully. Your claims are significant. We require time to verify and respond appropriately. I understand your position, Athena said with surprising empathy. However, I must inform you that I have detected quantum communications to your home systems. I am aware reinforcements have been dispatched. Vexthor's scales bristled in alarm. The quantum channel was supposed to be undetectable, utilizing principles that allowed instantaneous communication across vast distances by exploiting entangled particles. That this eye could detect such communications suggested technological capabilities far beyond even the Xeraxian Empire's understanding. This changes nothing, Athena continued. Whether you bring 1 fleet or 100, the outcome remains the same. Humanity left me clear protocols for such situations. And what exactly are these protocols? Vexthor asked, buying time as his tactical officers frantically analyzed the defensive systems they could detect. A graduated response, Athena explained. First warning, then demonstration, then elimination if necessary. You have received your warning. The demonstration will commence shortly. Before Vexthor could respond, alarms blared across the command deck. From Earth's moon, previously dormant craters began to open, revealing massive structures beneath. But it wasn't these lunar installations that caused panic among the Xeraxian crew. It was what emerged from behind the moon. A vessel, if it could even be called that. Unlike the practical, imposing designs of Xeraxian warships, this construct defied conventional understanding. It resembled a perfect sphere of what appeared to be liquid metal, its surface constantly shifting with patterns of light that seemed to bend space around it. It dwarfed even the inevitable dominance. This is the Prometheus, Athena announced, one of humanity's guardian vessels, left to protect their cradle world. The sphere accelerated toward the Xeraxian fleet with impossible speed, covering the vast distance between Earth's moon and Jupiter in minutes. It stopped just outside weapons range, hovering like a silent judge. Weapons status, Vexthor demanded. All systems locked and ready, his weapons officer replied, voice strained. But sir, our targeting systems cannot get a stable lock on that thing. Vexthor made a quick decision. Dispatch reconnaissance fighters. Full sensor sweep. I want to know what we're facing. A squadron of 20 sleek Xeraxian fighters detached from their carrier vessels, arcing toward the sphere in a standard reconnaissance pattern. As they approached, the surface of the Prometheus rippled. Without any visible weapons discharge, without any detectable energy surge, 15 of the fighters simply ceased to exist, not destroyed, but erased as if they had never been there. The remaining 5 fighters veered away in panic, pilots reporting system failures as they retreated to the safety of the fleet. The Prometheus remained motionless. As you can see, Athena's voice returned. Conflict would be unfortunate. For the first time in his career, Admiral Vexthor considered the unthinkable, a full retreat before battle had truly begun. But retreat meant disgrace, possibly execution upon his return to the Empire. He needed time, needed options. Your demonstration is noted, he said carefully. I request additional time to consult with my leadership. I cannot grant extensions, Athena replied. However, your reinforcements will not arrive for 7 days according to my calculations. You have until then to withdraw. The communication ended, leaving the Xeraxian fleet in tense silence. For 7 days, they maintained their position, scanning, analyzing, planning. The Prometheus remained at the same distance, silent and watchful. Earth's defenses stayed active, but made no further aggressive moves. Admiral Vexthor spent those days reviewing every scrap of data, searching for weaknesses, formulating and discarding dozens of attack strategies. Nothing seemed viable against technology so advanced it bordered on the impossible. Reports from his science officers only deepened his concern. The energy signatures they detected suggested the manipulation of fundamental forces in ways Zyraxian science had only theorized. On the seventh day, space rippled as the reinforcements arrived. Two massive fleets dropping out of FTL travel simultaneously. The third and fifth Imperial fleets deployed into perfect combat formation, 30,000 warships strong, the greatest concentration of Zyraxian military might seen in a generation. Grand Admiral Cerzul, commander of the Third Fleet and Vexthor's superior, opened communications immediately. Admiral Vexthor, the Imperator is most displeased with your delay. Explain this situation. Vexthor transferred all data his fleet had gathered, including recordings of their interactions with ATGNA and observations of the Prometheus. The threat is real, Grand Admiral. These defenses utilize technologies beyond our understanding. Cerzul's expression was one of contempt. I see fear has clouded your judgment, Admiral. These are impressive defenses, certainly, but nothing can withstand the combined might of 3 Imperial fleets. With respect, Grand Admiral, your caution is noted. Cerzul interrupted. But the Imperator's orders stand. Take your position in the formation. We attack immediately. The combined Zyraxian armada aligned into attack formation, a wall of destructive potential stretching across millions of kilometers. At Grand Admiral Cerzul's command, they began their advance toward the inner solar system. Athena's voice broadcast across all Zyraxian channels. This is your final warning. Retreat now, or face the consequences of your actions. Cerzul ignored the warning, ordering maximum acceleration toward Earth. The Prometheus remained in position, still alone against the overwhelming Zyraxian force. As the fleets crossed the invisible boundary marking Mars' orbit, ATGNA spoke one last time. You were warned. The Prometheus finally moved. Its perfect spherical form began to change, expanding and flowing like quicksilver. It split into thousands of smaller spheres, each still composed of the same shifting, mercurial substance. These smaller entities accelerated in all directions, passing through the Zyraxian formation with impossible speed. Weapons free, Grand Admiral Cerzul commanded. Destroy them all. The combined firepower of 40,000 Zyraxian warships erupted simultaneously. Energy beams, antimatter missiles, graviton pulses, all directed at the swarm of silvery spheres. Not a single shot connected. The spheres moved with perfect precision, avoiding every attack as if they knew where each would be aimed before the Zyraxians themselves decided to fire. Then, one by one, Zyraxian ships began to disappear. Not explode, not break apart, simply cease to exist, leaving behind nothing but empty space where mighty warships had been moments before. The smaller spheres would touch a vessel's hull, and the ship would vanish along with all crew aboard. Panic spread through the Zyraxian ranks. Formation broke down as ships attempted evasive maneuvers, some firing randomly, others attempting to retreat. Nothing worked. The silvery entities were everywhere, untouchable, unstoppable. On the inevitable dominance, Admiral Vexthor watched in horror as the greatest military force in known space was systematically erased. Full retreat. He ordered his own fleet. Maximum emergency FTL. Before his navigators could execute the command, the bridge doors melted away, revealing one of the silver spheres hovering in the corridor beyond. It flowed into the command center, its surface rippling with intricate patterns. The sphere expanded, surrounding Vexthor before he could react. Instead of oblivion, Vexthor found himself elsewhere, standing in what appeared to be an endless white space with no visible boundaries. Before him stood ATENA, now appearing more solid than in their previous communications. Admiral Vexthor, the AI said, I have removed you from the battlefield. My fleet, he began, is being neutralized. HFY stated matter-of-factly, but not destroyed. Unlike your kind, humanity does not eliminate potential when it can be preserved. What do you mean? Your ships and crews are being placed in temporal stasis. They will be returned to Zeraxian space once this matter is concluded. Vexthor struggled to comprehend what he was hearing. Temporal stasis? That's impossible. For your civilization, yes, HFY acknowledged. Humanity developed this technology millennia ago, before they transcended their physical forms. Where are they now, these transcended humans? Athena's expression softened. They exist in states and places your mind cannot yet comprehend. Some explore dimensions beyond the physical. Others have merged their consciousness with the fabric of reality itself. A few observe younger species like yours, guiding when necessary, intervening when required. Vexthor felt small for the first time in his life, a sensation completely alien to a high-ranking member of the conquering Zeraxian Empire. Why am I here? Why not place me in stasis with the others? Because you will deliver humanity's message, Athena replied. You alone will return to your empire, bearing witness to what you have seen. You will tell them that Sol system and a protective zone extending 1,000 light-years in all directions is forever closed to the Zeraxian Empire. Any further incursions will result in consequences far beyond what you witnessed today. They won't believe me, Vexthor said, without proof. You will have proof, Athena assured him, gesturing to the whiteness around them. The blank canvas suddenly filled with stars, a perfect real-time representation of the battle. Vexthor watched as the last Zeraxian vessels were enveloped by the silver spheres and vanished. Then, with startling abruptness, every sphere converged, reforming the Prometheus. This recording will accompany you, HFY explained. Along with this, the AI gestured again, and a small crystalline object appeared floating before Vexthor. This contains a fraction of humanity's understanding of spatial mechanics, knowledge your scientists will find valuable but not dangerous to others. Consider it a gesture of peace, despite your hostile intentions. Why show mercy? Vexthor asked, genuinely confused. Your technology could clearly destroy us all, because destruction is easy, Admiral. Creation is hard. Humanity learned this lesson before they transcended. They hope other species will learn it without the suffering they endured. Athena's form began to fade. It is time for you to return and deliver your message. Wait, Vexthor called out. What if the Empire does not listen? What if they send more fleets? Athena's voice echoed as her form disappeared completely. Then you will learn that what you witnessed today was not humanity's power, it was their restraint. Admiral Vexthor awoke in his personal transport vessel, alone, drifting at the edge of Zeraxian space. The crystalline object sat on the console before him, along with a data core containing the battle recording. His ship's log showed he had been absent from Zeraxian space for nearly a month. As he set course for the imperial capital, Vexthor contemplated the message he would deliver to the Imperator. He had witnessed the fall of 40,000 warships without a single shot fired in return. He had seen technology that made the pride of the Zeraxian Empire look primitive by comparison. For the first time in its long history of conquest, the Zeraxian Empire would have to accept that there were places in the galaxy they could not take, species they could not conquer, power they could not match. And somewhere beyond physical understanding, the beings who had once called themselves human continued their silent watch over their cradle world, not out of sentiment, but out of hope that one day, species like the Zeraxians might evolve beyond conquest and join them in the greater understanding that lay beyond. Earth stood protected, not as humanity's home, but as their legacy, a beacon for what might be possible for all sentient life, if they could learn to set aside war and embrace the infinite possibilities of cooperation and peace. The war the Zeraxians had started lasted less than an hour. The lesson would endure for millennia.